Good afternoon, everyone. And welcome to our 2026 Learning Experiences launch for Science Gallery Melbourne. My name is Jesse Chambers and I'm the Deputy Head of Learning Programs for Science Gallery. Before we get started, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land that our learning experiences take place on, the Wurundjeri Woiwurrung people of the Kulin Nation and the Bunurong people of the Kulin Nation, and pay respects to them, their continuing culture and their elders from yesterday and today. And extend that respect to First Nations students here at the University of Melbourne and our colleagues who we get to work with. And of course, the First Nations people of the lands that you're joining from today. I'm joined by two fantastic guests, Tilly Berlin, Head of Curatorial at Science Gallery Melbourne, and Tara Story, STEAM Communicator, who are here to talk to you today about some exciting offerings that we have. Science Gallery is part of the University of Melbourne's Museums and Collections Department. We are the front door of the university, which we invite members of the public and school students in to participate in exciting experiences such as workshops and gallery tours, some of which we're going to talk about today. Now, Science Gallery is part of a large global network of galleries that are located around the world in places like India, Mexico, and the United Kingdom, to name a few. They bring together scientists and artists, engineers, fabricators to bring you exciting exhibitions and to connect students with learning experiences that are transdisciplinary and sometimes anti-disciplinary. And hopefully we give you a sense today that it's not just for science and art teachers, but for teachers across a whole range of disciplines. Now, to tell us a little bit about Science Gallery, Tilly, how does a Science Gallery exhibition come together? What does it involve?
It involves so many glorious people. So it certainly doesn't just come from one brain. It's a process that happens over about 2 years, where we start off with a couple of advisory groups that we are privileged to have surround us. So one main one is called Psy-Curious. And that's made up of young people aged 15 to 25 who we meet with and talk about what keeps you up at night, what are the greatest challenges that we need to address in the years to come, and how are we going to think about those challenges and address them differently in a transdisciplinary or anti-disciplinary way. So we start to gather the themes of what might be an interesting show, and really importantly, what are topics we don't want to hit on that young people aren't interested in. And then we meet with another advisory group of people who are incredibly experienced advocates for sciences, arts, engineering, technology, all topics possible that we might want to mix and match with within the shows. They're called our Leonardos, and some examples are Patricia Piccinini, who is a visual artist who you might know of, Nobel Prize winner Peter Doherty, who's an immunologist here at the University of Melbourne. And those people also feed into what are we going to map out into what's going to be an overarching topic that we address here in the gallery. The process then edges along with more humans coming into it, and then we eventually pitch out to an international open call. That's where we're inviting people to pitch an idea of a project that might come and join the jigsaw puzzle of putting together an exhibition where we touch on lots of different topics. And actually, we've even had a student who's come through and been part of an education experience and then pitched for a show and got in it. So yeah, it really is quite a robust and delightful planning process of really trying to draw in as many interesting strings that could feed into a particular topic.
Fantastic. It sounds very youth-led. And we're actually in the exhibition at the moment. We're in our Western Gallery here at Science Gallery, just off Swanson Street. And where are we at the moment? We're sitting in front of what looks to be a really, really colourful game arcade. Can you tell us a little bit about the current exhibition that carries over into the May next year?
Absolutely. The exhibition that's on at the moment is called Distraction, and it is the exhibition for your attention. This came out of a discussion with our Psy-Curious group 18 months ago, 2 years ago, where they were talking about how in the current time we have access to more information at our fingertips than we've ever had before, but how often that leads to a feeling of being overwhelmed and to actually stagnating in decision making or interfering with critical thinking and decision making. And we thought that that was a really interesting topic to explore in Distraction. So it really is an exhibition that brings together people from every discipline you can imagine to tackle what is the thing that is keeping you from the thing you're supposed to be doing. What are your distractions, whether they be positive or negative? Are they contributing to your thinking, or are they reducing your productivity and pulling you onto another task? This gorgeous creation behind us is the arcade, and it's a culmination of a collaboration with Free Play, who are a gaming group across Australia and New Zealand. And so what you get to experience here are games that have really been created by local artists and game makers. At the side, you've got videos that you're able to actually hear from researchers here at the University of Melbourne who are studying different aspects of gameplay and how to make a game. And it's a really beautiful synergy between being able to play an experience as a one person, but look at it on the big screen as well. So you can be passive or actively involved, which is one of the things that we love in Science Gallery.
Fabulous. And we've had a range of different subject areas come through this exhibition in the past 6 months that it's been open. We've had philosophy students, we've had digital technologies classes, we've had algorithmics classes, we've had humanities classes who've all engaged with the content. But we have multiple exhibitions a year, and we do have one in store. I'd love for you to share with us, what can we expect when we see Emergency?
Absolutely. So from June next year until December, we've got Emergency, which is a show all about the need for human and non-human adaptation to a rapidly changing world. So it is a show, again, that will bring people from different disciplines together to look at in a time where our technology is evolving, where we've got social unrest and upheaval, we've got extreme weather events and the climate crisis, how as humans and as other organisms on this planet are we shifting and changing? The show goes from the cellular level, so there will be works about the incredible possibility and promise and hope that things like stem cell technology bring us in being able to adapt our bodies internally and adapt future generations, right up to the planetary scale, where one work will be giving us insight into Martian winds, so being able to compare climates on different planets as well as our own, and everything in between. So there'll be a work about incredible resilience of fashion made out of fungi, a project about regenerating coral reefs through sound, often where artists are working hand in hand with scientists or engineers or philosophers or software designers to really welcome your students in and shift, hopefully, what they see as their potential agency and stepping into the challenges that are in front of us, and doing so with hope and resilience.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for that overview, Tilly. So it sounds like it's really interdisciplinary with lots of connections that can be drawn to multiple subject areas, with great links to speculative thinking and object-based learning. And I love the idea of that. What did you say about the fungi?
Oh, what did I say? Like a resilient fashion. So being able to use different materials to clothe ourselves, to house ourselves, to think about how it is we build ourselves from the cellular level out.
Fantastic. Sounds like something for design and technology teachers in the works there. So, Tara, when we have students who come to Science Gallery Melbourne, an interactive tour is something that they can participate in. What sorts of things can students and teachers expect when they walk through the front door, past our digital bricks, into Science Gallery, coming for an interactive tour?
Yes, well, first and foremost, they're going to interact. Crazy, I know. Our exhibitions are highly interactive, they're immersive, and they're posing a lot of questions to students, as you've heard from Tilly. So when students come into our space, they're welcomed by our facilitators. Our facilitators are this magical group of young people who are studying or working in STEAM industries. They bring with them not only great skills in facilitating and working with young people, but also all of their experience from their lives. So for young people stepping into our space, it's not just an opportunity to see the gallery, but to see it through the lens of these people that aren't that far away from themselves as high school students. Our spaces, they can be distracting, as is in the name, so we give our students time to explore them, to go at their own pace, see what they're curious about, and along the way our facilitators guide with activities, a bit of that in-depth knowledge about what's hiding behind the artworks and their intentions from artists and researchers. And students see themselves represented, which I think is really important. Like you're saying, young people are through every part of our exhibiting process. So when students step into the space, they're seeing the things that they care about and getting to interact with them. And like you say, getting to see those future pathways. We're sitting in a university space, they're talking to university students, and they're seeing a university honour things like the video games behind us as a form of art research and interactive media, which is really cool.
Now, you've been facilitating interactive tours in Distraction for a little while now. What are the sorts of things that students can expect when they go into the Distraction exhibition? What are the exhibits? What are the experiences? What are the hands-on things that they can do?
This exhibition, like all, has been such a joy to see students experience for themselves. You'll find students sitting in minute lines, crocheting, learning maybe for the first time, seeing how they can control their own focus in a space, flipping switches in 512-bit, which is made by a teacher here in Victoria, Dr. Chris Edwards, which is super exciting, competing against an AI for who can do the best drawings, really, and communicate to other humans. Even putting up some cat ears and really focusing on, how cats really have shaped our internet. It is a very joyful experience of students roving the space and, getting to really think about the ways they get distracted and hopefully find some ways that they know is beneficial for them in their lives.
Brilliant. And object-based learning is obviously something that is our bread and butter here in the Museums and Collections Department and here at Science Gallery. And we provide teacher resources for teachers to support the visit on the day. So those are curriculum-aligned resources that you receive before your visit that allow you to go through beforehand and pick out some activities that you yourself might like to run with students when you come on site. Now, if you're looking to extend your experience, you can include workshops alongside your interactive tour or instead of your interactive tour in order to build an experience that suits the curriculum that you're teaching back at school. Now, one of the exciting things that we're developing at the moment, aligned with the emergency exhibition, is Emergency the Game, which will be available for schools to book in terms 3 and 4 next year. Now, Tara, can you give us a little teaser about what we can expect in Emergency the Game?
Yes, Emergency the Game is very exciting. We have actually been game testing it with university students recently. So again, we're getting a lot of feedback from our youth around us. In Emergency the Game, students take on roles. So we're really sitting in a role play space as a way of learning, which is very exciting. They take on roles and they need to build characters, and then those characters go on some journeys. They get hit with some critical events in their lifetime, and they need to make decisions just like we all do, and they need to see and think about how their actions have consequences and maybe find out along the way that there are some consequences that they might not have expected. And we go on this big journey to see how we can shape the future of their world through these roles. So it is a big interdisciplinary experience. It's hitting things like the English curriculum, science, humanities, and all of those capabilities. And again, is something that is really applicable to a lot of the learning areas that come visit us.
And I think you've hit on something important there, and that is that when we design learning programs at Science Gallery, we start from the capabilities, so those things like ethical understanding, intercultural capability, and they form the base of the programs that we develop. And then using you as the teacher experts, connect those to different areas of the curriculum. And in terms of what levels we offer them for, we provide learning experiences for years 7 through to 12. And our educators and our facilitators differentiate the content and its delivery in order to suit the level of the students that are coming to visit us. But we also have workshops that are here with Distraction at the moment. And I don't know if you've been on Instagram recently, but I've been getting a lot of AI-generated video content. And so we have created 2 AI programs that help your students dive into an area that they're already experiencing. Like, we know that young people are engaging with AI even more so than we are. This is their normal. And so we've created 2 programs that allow them to explore the interaction between creativity and what sets us apart as humans from artificial intelligence. Now, one of those programs is called Ink versus Algorithm. Now, Ink versus Algorithm gets students making a machine learning model and testing themselves in order to figure out how they could evade an AI algorithm. And so they go up against an AI algorithm and create a series of drawings that they want their human counterparts to guess, but not the AI algorithm. And so that allows them to explore machine learning, but also what sets us apart as humans and what makes us creative. And that's linked to a work that they see through the interactive tour called the Deviation Game, which is a game that's in the gallery that they might experience also on an interactive tour. We then have Detect AI. Now, on your screen, you can see two very special characters from Detect AI that are linked to one of the exhibits in gallery called Epic Sock Puppet Theatre. Now, Epic Sock Puppet Theatre explores mis and disinformation, in particular sock puppet accounts, which generate and spread that mis and disinformation on social media. And we invite students to work collaboratively in groups to use AI detection tools to try and figure out what has been generated by AI in a fake social media platform that their peers are operating within. And so it's an interactive, scenario-based program that really invites them to get creative and collaborative with one another, that links to media, it links to ethical understanding, it links to a whole range of areas of the curriculum. And we know that if we're building AI literacies, it means that students know what they're dealing with when they're using that out in the real world. And they are using it. So we have a range of other programs though. And so Tara, I'm going to throw to you now. What are some of the other exciting options that teachers and students can book into for next year?
Yeah, so we have a gorgeous program, Mission Control, which is a really exciting collaboration between Parliament of Victoria and the Australian Space Agency. And in Mission Control, students again are tasked with this role. They take on members of Parliament, and in their political parties, they need to make a really big decision. And that decision is, which Victorians are we going to send to Mars? What sort of people do we need? What sort of industries do we need on Mars? And again, based on their choices, there's going to be some consequences when they get there. So as you might be able to see on your screen, we do some speculation about what Mars might look like when we get there, what we might be focusing on when we're there, again, with that input from the Australian Space Agency or through that democratic lens of Parliament process. And we get out the rovers, we're moving around as we would be on Mars. And again, yeah, really great connections obviously to civics and citizenship, thinking about the levels of Parliament and getting it straight from the source, from Parliament of Victoria.
Fantastic. And I'm looking at screen at the moment. I can see a real favourite. It's one of our school's favourite. It's our game show theme program. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, Sustainable Communities is a joyful program where we take students, they get into teams, we go through 3 different mini games, very game show-esque. We've got trivia, we've got competition, and really it's an opportunity for students to actually flex their sustainable knowledge. We know that young people are really switched on to being sustainable, and so it's really an opportunity for them to showcase that knowledge as well as build on it with a big focus on the 3 pillars of sustainability and the UN Sustainable Development Goals. It is chaotic, it is joyful to see how they make things happen, and yeah, it can be linked to so many of the other things that are happening, whether it's an exhibition tour, especially for emergency, or even something like mission control and thinking about our sustainability on Mars.
And we know that sustainability is a cross-curriculum priority across a whole range of areas, as is engaging with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander histories and cultures. And we have Fire Practice, which is our workshop, which is led by our wonderful Indigenous colleagues here at the university. And so it leans into research by Wiradjuri Professor Michael Sean Fletcher that explores how First Nations people have been caring for country using fire for 65,000 plus years. We then have Unexpected, which leans into speculative thinking. Every exhibition that you see at Science Gallery explores speculative worlds and things that may not exist now but could exist in the future. And it invites students to engage with real research, real events and possible scientific events that might happen, and think about the first, second and third order consequences that might happen as a result of those events. That kind of intergenerational equity thinking where they're thinking beyond the, beyond the end of their lifetime, how the impact of the decisions that are made now will leave a lasting legacy in the future. So, it's a pretty comprehensive program. We have some pretty exciting exhibitions coming up, and now we have time for some questions. So if there are any questions, please throw them into the webinar because we would love to answer them for you. I have an idea, and that is that I'm wondering whether or not people want to know how they book a program. That's what I would be thinking right now. So Tara,
That
how
is
do we book a
important.
program?
Yes, well, on our website, we have all of our offerings listed. We have a program guide. If you are watching now, you will be sent that program guide very shortly. And if you're watching it later, you will have access to it as well. You can look through our website, listen to what we've said. If there's something that you are confident in, that you are really excited to book into, we have a form on our website that's going to ask you for lots of details that make our programming all the more better for your students so that we can really focus on who's coming on the day and how to make it the best day for them. But if you're unsure, if you're questioning, or you've just seen something that you're quite excited about and you want to have a chat, our bookings team are always happy and always up for a chat, whether you want to email them or give them a phone call. And all of those contact details, I think, will be at the end of this and will also be on our website.
They certainly will be. They certainly will. And the more information that you can provide, it means we can provide an even more accessible experience for your students. So in what ways can we provide an accessible experience, Tara, for the students that come to Science Gallery?
Yeah, the more you tell us beforehand, we have that capacity. We're a very adaptive and responsive team here, and that is all to do with our amazing facilitators and their confidence delivering to young people. So if we know things beforehand, we can process that. Things like breaks, things like how we like to interact, what sort of level of instruction to give and when. These are all valuable things. But also on the day, our facilitators are really responsive. So we will notice things, we will respond to things, and we are always happy for you as teachers. You know your students best. Please talk to us. We'll actually come up to you at the start of the day and check with you again if there's anything that would make your experience on the day, especially valuable. Our programming has built-in differentiation as well, and there's always opportunity to stretch knowledge or take it back a little bit as well, depending on how students are going on the day.
Fantastic. And that differentiation, that built-in ability for us to differentiate the program, both in terms of content and delivery, means that we can cater for a range of year levels for secondary age learners, so from years 7 through to year 12. From VCE subjects through to the VCE VM as well, and those year 7 to 10 subjects across science, English, humanities, and a whole range of other disciplines. So if you are looking to get in touch with us, I would highly encourage you to reach out to us and have a chat. We have a very, very friendly bookings team who would love to engage with you. You can contact them by phone or via email. Please do reach out to us. But if you're ready to book, you can jump online from the 3rd of November and you can book your learning experience for 2026 by going through our bookings inquiry form, and we'll endeavour to get back to you very, very soon. But that's all from us here at Science Gallery Melbourne. Thank you very much for your attention today. Thank you, Tilly. Thank you, Tara. And we hope to see you next year.